A big and tasty for just $1? How do you do it? What's your secret?
The internet is a strange place. Of course, you more than likely already knew that. For some reason, when a collective of people online discover a strange, but still, at least in intent, innocent property, they corrupt it, warping, distorting, or altogether transforming something through memes and fan art into something else entirely. Something with its own rules and backstory, altogether separate yet still inspired by the entity this new beast spawned from. It's hard to tell exactly where this attitude to meme one thing into another comes from. Is it out of spite or love for the original property? More often than not, it's hard to tell. Whether it's Garfield going from a lazy yet lovable house cat to the eternal Lovecraftian tormentor of John Arbuckle, or the financial and critical disaster Morbius being seen as the greatest movie of all time, grossing more billions of dollars. A result of the internet's collective cynicism, or just very funny creators using existing properties as a springboard for their own unique vision. Either way, I love this kind of stuff. Especially when innocence is ripped away from a nostalgic property, and what's left is the dark hereafter. Horror is my favorite genre, specifically the kind of horror that is left unexplained, a terror that derives from our inherent desire to understand the mysterious. That desire often leading humanity to interact with conduits to worlds we are not yet physically or mentally prepared to contend with. Ancient books of the dead, ruins left standing for thousands of years, statues and idols once worshipped, incantations that, when uttered, communicate with the other side. Purple milkshakes. I was working on a horror-themed video, funny enough, when I decided to take a break and, like so many, scroll through social media. And I witnessed a growing phenomenon. Videos of people, some barely alive and others strongly implied not to be, left in alleyways, ditches, or bodies of water, all clearly broken, beaten, or traumatized, and covered in a purple substance. Whatever entity they had come in contact with had left them near death or permanently changed. What I was seeing was the aftermath of a bunch of people trying the new McDonald's Grimace shake after wishing the character a happy birthday. This trend is yet another example of the internet doing what it does best. Something intended to be an innocent promotional item for the McDonald's Corporation in the hands of TikTok creators and YouTubers has become the latest craze in dark, surreal horror. But weirdly enough, with Grimace, it kinda makes some sense. Like, what the f*** is Grimace anyway? Seriously. Honestly, what the hell did any of the McDonald's mascots have to do with hamburgers and chicken nuggets? Ronald McDonald first debuted as a mascot for McDonald's in 1963, and he is not fun to look at in these early advertisements at all. The success of the character led to the company deciding to expand the McDonaldland universe in the early 1970s, with commercials and promotional material centering around Ronald as the hero, foiling the attempts of various villains to steal McDonald's food items. Eventually, multiple mascots would emerge from this fictional universe, such as the Fry Kids, Birdie the Early Bird, and the Happy Meal Gang. Some of the more well-known characters actually started out as antagonists, like the Hamburglar and, of course, the purple monster Grimace. Originally, the name of this character was actually, I shit you not, Evil Grimace, with the company dropping the word evil from the name in 1972. Grimace evolved over time into a more lovable character after this change, going from wanting to steal milkshakes to just being clumsy. So, what the hell is Grimace supposed to represent? Is he just a big purple monster, or is he supposed to tie into an item McDonald's served? Well, this has actually been disputed for a long time. In 2010, a McDonald's spokesperson stated that Grimace is a taste bud. I don't see it, but okay. A tweet from the McDonald's Twitter account in 2014 says that Grimace could also be the embodiment of a milkshake. I don't see that either. The bottom line is that Grimace is a very weird being to use as promotion for a fast food restaurant. In artwork depicting the characters, he always stands out. There's something weirdly unsettling about the character, as there honestly is with all of the McDonaldland characters. I speak from my own personal experience here, but the McDonald's mascots weren't always the biggest presence when I was growing up. I knew of them from some artwork that I saw when I rarely went inside a McDonald's to eat. The play place was the only area you really saw them represented, and I was too busy playing the Nintendo 64s that they had to really pay attention to that. It seemed that when the Ronald McDonald benches stopped appearing outside the restaurants, the mascots stopped being featured so prominently. That's why it's so strange to me that Grimace's birthday would be an event that the company would want to promote so heavily. Who cares so much about Grimace that they'll rush out to buy a Grimace-themed milkshake? There might be some McDonald's enthusiasts that do so, but it really seems to me like the only reason they decided to do this was they made a purple shake and Grimace is purple. The whole thing, like Grimace, is kinda cursed to me, and I am definitely not the only one who thinks that. It didn't take long for TikTok to go crazy with this idea that Grimace was a threat. And by consuming the Grimace shake, one would unwittingly summon the taste bud / milkshake creature. Well, I'm assuming it's Grimace who is attacking these creators, because the best kinds of these videos don't really show the threat. I love this. The best kind of horror to me is the horror that is implied. Nothing someone creates can be more terrifying than what we dream up in our own heads. Knowing this, the best creators of these videos put us in the position of a sort of detective, stumbling upon the aftermath of an event. The only thing we have to go off of is the fact that every one of these people consumed a Grimace shake. Based upon the state we see them in after, our minds are left to paint a grisly picture of what could have taken place. It goes without saying, but these videos are very funny. The stark contrast between the bright and cheery openings, usually with some hint as to the state the consumer or consumers will be in when that turn happens after they try the shake, is just dark comedy gold. It creates such a great buildup of suspense before it hits you with the horror. I think that what makes dark comedy work so well is the balancing of tone. The reason our reaction to these videos is to laugh is because of the first half. I love the videos that start out in the daytime or a brighter setting, everyone smiling and laughing before the smash cut to instant darkness. As funny as that contrast is, the other element that makes these posts work is just how much of a contrast it is. What I mean is, if you were to cut out the first half of the video, a lot of these horror segments would be downright terrifying to see on your For You page with no context. Even with that purple everywhere, I'm willing to bet that would make them even creepier. Like, if these were made without the setup, we would expect to see some blood, but the fact that it's a mysterious purple liquid makes it seem more alien. It's another element of the unknown that makes horror great. While watching these videos, I was reminded of Larry Cohen's cult horror film, The Stuff, from 1985. It's about an alien substance sold to the public as a snack like ice cream. It becomes insanely popular, only for it to be revealed that the stuff is actually a living organism that takes over the mind. There are many gruesome death scenes, the aftermaths of which look very similar to the Grimace shake posts. The stuff oozing out of mouths and covering dead bodies, just like the purple Grimace shake. The Stuff was made to be a satire of American consumerism, our obsession with brands and products peddled by corporations every day through our television screens and now smartphones just leads to more and more consumption. In The Stuff, that constant consumption leads to humanity being driven out by the product until we're left as just mindless zombies. I think the Grimace shake trend is an evolution of that anti-consumerist idea, although not fully realized. There's a satirical element to these videos. The excitement over a berry-flavored milkshake is overplayed to an extreme, as is the results of consuming it. It's almost as if they're poking fun at how McDonald's thought we would all react to this limited time-only item, with this exuberant optimism at the birthday of a mascot made by a soulless corporation to sell fast food hamburgers. The horror sequences could be seen as a play on how we will all eventually be treated by this constant worship of brands. McDonald's food is awful for you, and this is just pushing it to an extreme. These fast food companies have forced their way into American identity so much that now we are expected to celebrate the mascots by buying new items loaded with ingredients that will slowly kill us. These Grimace Shake videos, at their best, are a comedically horrific satire of mindless brand loyalty and consumption, but unfortunately it did help McDonald's in the end. The desire to hop on the trend and make your own Grimace Shake video is so big that sales of the shake have gone through the roof. McDonald's themselves has even responded to the trend positively. Normally, when the brand responds to the memes based around it, that's the death of the meme. But the response so far hasn't slowed down the posts at all, so now the only thing left to kill the trend are videos like this one exploring and dissecting it. Sorry. Despite my issues with making a soulless corporation even more money, I do love this trend so much that I actually wanted to end this video with my own Grimace Shake shitpost. But the popularity of these shakes is no joke. My brother and I went to get a few shakes to film with, but they were entirely sold out. When we asked one of the employees about when they would have the shakes available again, something else was confirmed to me that I had only been theorizing about. She told us that the company had no idea that this shake was going to take off like it did, and the restaurants in my area have no idea if they're going to get any more anytime soon. Sometimes shitposts made online is some of the best free marketing you could ever ask for. At the end of the day, I think this trend is great. What's truly amazing is watching how it's evolved. Watching posts made before it really started to blow up and comparing them to what's come out more recently is kind of insane. What was just a bunch of friends covering themselves in the shake and pretending to be dead has evolved into full-on horror short films that are both well shot and well acted. Look some of these up and see just how well made they are. It allows creators to flex their abilities and dabble in some truly great comedic horror. And who knows, considering how many mainstream horror films are soon to be released made by online content creators, the next big filmmaker in horror may have just gotten their start by making a Grimace Shake video. Thank you so much for watching, enjoy your shake if you can get one, go watch the stuff, and I'll see you next time.